associate myself with them, and and at the end, I think that, like I said last time, there's a piece missing. If you like it or not, regardless of what it is, there's a piece missing whenever you're Hispanic or Latino or Latina and you go away from home, right? If you have that, you miss the language, and you miss speaking
At the
Spanish,
end,
right?
I think that
You miss speaking Spanish, you miss eating the food, you miss dancing, you miss all those things, right? And at one point or another, regardless of what service you're in, you get some of that, but you don't get it all, right? And I think that that is what is coming up for Hispanic Heritage Month, where you don't get it all, but we came from somewhere, and most of us don't come from a lot. And the question is, what are we going to do, especially if we want to use, say, September? What are we going to do to make a difference? What are we going to do to go to those high schools and show those high school kids that they can still make a difference, that they can change their life, regardless if they came from an immigrant family or anything else, right? So that's what I would ask y'all, right? What is it that, if we're going to talk about something serious, let's talk about what are you going to do come down September, not only September, but throughout the year to make a difference. Not on us, right? Because we already are where we're at. If you want to study, you're going to study. If you're going to make money, you're going to make money. But what are you going to do for the future generation? What are you willing to do? What are you okay with doing? So, what are you doing next month, D, apart from celebrating your birthday, right? To make a difference in the future generation?
So that's a great question, and it's a loaded question because honestly, as long as we're doing something to make a difference, um, there's no there's no specific formula, right, as to what to do. By me talking to somebody, telling them about ANSO, the opportunities, and even just sharing what my military career brought to me, the opportunities that it gave me, the opportunities for travel, the opportunity to gain all the experience and leadership um, that I had the opportunity to do, right? That just lets people know that, wow, like she came from San Luis Rio Colorado, Sonora, a small little town in Mexico, from a family of immigrants who worked their entire lives in the fields of Arizona and California, and she didn't even speak English, right? So that means I can do it too. And one of the things that ANSO has provided, it has ANSO has connected me with a mentee who is currently in South Carolina going through the Army National Guard, like, sort of like a basic training. And she is, when I spoke to her, she told me, she said, I'm so scared because I am 5'1" and I am about 120 pounds. And my parents are so scared that I'm going to get hurt, that I'm not going to make it because I'm so small, right? And then I said, wow. I said, well, I'm not 120 pounds, but I was back then, and I'm 5'3". And I showed her a picture of when I was deployed, and I was a 50 cal gunner on the Humvee, right, in Iraq. And I was one of the very few females who were a gunner on doing patrol missions. And she was like, oh my God, she's like, I'm gonna show that to my parents because they're gonna see, look how small you look. She's like, and you were able to do it. So she was just, that inspired her and like gave her some peace of mind to know that it doesn't matter your height, your size, right? What matters is the size of your heart and your grit, right? And like if she's so determined, she will be able to do it. So for me, I'm going to continue to talk about ANSO. I'm going to continue to share my story, talk about everything that has given me. And next month, the VA in Richmond has actually a Hispanic Heritage Month celebration where they're going to allow people to set up tables, information tables, and talk about different organizations and initiatives. And I will be proudly representing ANSO, and I will set up a table and share how after the military, veterans can join ANSO, and not just officers, but enlisted as well, so that they can continue to give back to the community. That's what I have set myself off for the month of September. So hopefully that makes it cut.
That's a B plus, to be honest with you. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. That's a great start, right, for the month. And those are the things that we need to look at. But Nicole, what are you going to do for Hispanic Heritage Month? What are you going to do to make a difference? What are you going to do to make a difference in the future generation?
Well, for September, I'm going to the Latina Symposium next month in October in Arlington. That's what I'm doing. But as far as the future, I guess my commitment to the future generation, is to ensure that we cultivate a culture of mentorship and continuous learning, professional development. But I hope to build a nurse corps that is only prepared for the challenges of tomorrow, but equipped to lead the way in transforming healthcare for future generations. So I'm still studying, and I'm in school, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so she's running for CNO. You can hear that, right? It's like all the words that she used, right? But so I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, right? So obviously I'm going to be the co-chairman for Latina Stop. So I'm going to be there. So we're going to be in the same place, the same location.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Uh,
there too. So looking
yeah,
forward to
so we're
seeing
all
you.
going to be there supporting our Latinos, right? At the same time, right after that, I'm scheduled to go to Command and Staff School for the Marine Corps, right? To talk about contested logistics and talk about ANSO, right? And those are the top 20% of the Marine Corps this year for the majors, right? So I'm getting there. And I was also invited to be the guest speaker for the National War College, my alma mater, right? And I'm going to be talking to whoever shows up, but most likely they put me in the Arnold Auditorium. I think that there's going to be good 300, 200 to 300 lieutenant colonels and colonels from all branches of the services, and I'm the guest speaker for Hispanic Heritage, right? Impacting across the board. But at the same time, I'm looking at what we are going to do for our high schools, what we're going to do for more scholarships in San Diego and across the nation. And I just want to give more, right? I want to give more. Some people don't see it that way, right? And that's okay. Everybody is entitled to their beliefs and their ideas. But at the same time, we cannot be naive that there's a change and there's a dynamics that is different. When you look at the ranks and there's not that many O6s, there's not that many general officers, there's more kids that are not going to college from the Latino community. There's about, I don't even know what percentage of Latinos are, obese, right? In the middle schools and high schools and elementary schools. And we are a perfect example of the things to do, not to do, right? So I think that we got to do self-searching and do more. I'm always going to say we need to do more, right? So that's what I think. But like I said, I'm not that smart. I was not born in September, right? Only those smart people are born in September that critically think and they're pretty talented, right? But why would I know, right? But I'll tell you another question that was bothering right, like it was bothering me, right? Is this right? Is Latin American, right? And South American, right? And the things that are going on in our countries, right? There's a lot of immigration that are coming in and not trying to be political, right? But it makes me sad to see the challenges that a lot of our communities and our countries are going through because of their governments or because of the poverty, right? The people that have money become richer. The people that are poor, they have to find a different way. I don't know if y'all have been chasing, like looking into it or seeing it or reading it, but it's not something new. It has been going on there, but it's sad and disappointing, right? And I'll say it, and I've said it in multiple places, and I'll say this: a mother would not risk their kids, regardless of who they are, right, to a certain degree, unless they thought that coming to the United States and taking that trail from South America to here or Central America to here will be the best way of approaching, right, their ways, like improving their ways, right? So I don't know what your thoughts are, but for me is I think that is disappointing and it brings tears to my eyes and sadness to my heart that I get to see all those caravans and we get to see some of the comments that are said, but not all immigrants are bad, and not all immigrants come over here to take advantage of the government. And the thing that comes up is, I debunked it, is we pay more into the government, right, than what we receive from 6 or 7 years that were immigrants from 12 to 18. In my case, I've been in the military for almost 30 years, right? I pay taxes since I was 15. So I've contributed to the community, and I'm an immigrant. I'm still consider myself an immigrant, right? So I would like to, at least when people talk about those people, right? Those immigrants are coming through in caravan, risking their life. Mothers are putting their kids out there to see them as human beings, not necessarily as just someone that is coming to destroy America, because a lot of immigrants actually defend the United States. What do you think, Dee? Another tough question, a loaded question.
Yeah. No, I before I answer that question, and I do have some comments because I have been following that, especially with the group that my organization does. Um, the work that we do. I do want to acknowledge Chaps. He just joined us. Diego is on the line, and I want to welcome him. Sir, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, indeed. I can just driving over here, so that's why I had my camera off. And
Don't look
just
at us. Don't look at us. Just keep driving.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. So just following along. That's the deal right now. Okay.
Great, thank you. So yeah, I also I have been paying attention and seeing the propaganda, right, that we often see in the news about all this bad immigrants that are coming to just take over, like, our benefits and like the assistance that United States has. And I have to say, personally, I remember my mom and my dad when they first came over here, right? And we moved in 1996. We moved to Yuma, Arizona. That's when I got my green card. We would never go to the hospital or the doctor in the United States because we didn't want to ask for assistance, because they were so proud and they were such hard workers that they didn't want to go and ask, right, for a handout. And even though it wasn't, but that's how they felt. They were very proud of their hard work, and they always wanted to pay for what they received. And I learned that, if anything, immigrant communities are the first ones to do the work and support the communities and help anybody around them, their neighbors, their community, just want to help without asking anything in return. Right. And so, yes, we do have the bad apples, right? They give us a bad name, and what some people latch on to paint that picture. But I agree. I think that we should look at humans as human beings and treat them with respect, and just see that, like you said, no mother will risk the life of their kids and their children by bringing them across from other countries, and then having to be outside just in the weather and the heat, the cold, and just risking their lives. Nicole, where are you from? Oh, you're muted.
I'm from California.
From California.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it did, and I mean, I'm sure that there in California, right, you may have seen a lot of immigrants, and I don't know how close to the border you were, but I mean, if we see it here in Virginia, I know you in California, we'll see it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely made the news for sure.
Yeah. You're muted, sir.
I really dislike when I mute myself so I don't have the noise in the background. But hey, so the beauty about this, right? And we talk about that, but we also got to talk that 18 to 22% of our services are Hispanics, right? And the government and also, the military are seeing the benefit that we bring, which is, now the naturalization process, right? They come in, they're able to, if they're citizen in the middle of the, I mean, not citizen, but if they're resident alien, aka green card holders, right? and they meet all the criteria, they join the service. And by the time that they, if they meet the criteria, I'm going to make sure that that is understood. If they meet the criteria, they're able to join the military. And at the same time, once they graduate boot camp, if the process goes as it's supposed to go, right, depending as to the record and everything else, they can get their citizenship just by coming in and determining that they're going to serve the country for 4 years. That is acknowledgement that, no kidding, we recognize the talents and the skills that are coming with our Latino community and with those immigrants, right? That is beneficial for our service. It makes the diversity of thought, the diversity of people, as well as culture in the military, the strongest military in the world, right? So that is something that, we cannot talk one without the other, because that's being recognized, right? And 18 to 22% of the military being Hispanic descent is a big deal, right? So it's something to be proud of and something to acknowledge. Now, like you said, there's some people that serve in the military and they should not be in the military and they should not be in this country. There's some people that are in, that they do things that they shouldn't be done, and they give by names to other people that are working hard to do that. But we tend not to focus on, we like to not to focus on those people, because there's a lot of more people doing great things for this country than doing bad things against this country, right? So, but not everybody's in the right target, right? But no, I wanted to make sure that everybody understood, right? That we don't just talk about symposium. We talk about all the things when we're as a board of directors and stuff like that, and see how we can maximize and improve our community and help each other out, right? So, Nicole, what question do you have for us?
Oh, I asked my question earlier.
Well, now it's the second question. It's time for the second question.
So, yeah, go ahead, Nicole.
I don't have one burning right now, but I can, if you give me a second, I can make.
All right. So,
Go ahead. Yeah, well,
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, and I'm not sure if you shared during the last Fireside chat that you recently came back from Japan, and now you're living in Colorado, right? So getting adjusted to the community. And I know you connected with the Colorado Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, I hear.
I did.
Can you share a little bit about the community and what you see and what the potential Colorado brings to you and your family?
Well, so I spoke to the president, right, today for like 30 minutes, and he invited me to be a guest speaker for a veteran dinner that they're going to have on November 7th. So I got to put it on my calendar. For me, is really important that not only we bring the youth in and the service member, but also those people that serve, right? All those Hispanics, Latinos that have served. Their duty, even though everybody's like, apart from the Marines, right? Everybody's like, I got out. And we as Marines say, Marines, always a Marine, no matter where you're a Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine, right? But the fact is that the way that I see it is, once a soldier is always a soldier, once a sailor is always a sailor, once an airman is always an airman. And they might contradict me, but guess what? They're not going to get me to change my mind. So I still call them, I say "Ura" and all the things that come up, right? So for me, it's really important to get in front of them if I'm allowed the opportunity, right? And 7 November comes around. First of all, it's close to the Marine Corps birthday, so I'm going to be really pumped up, right? But most importantly, I'm going to be around veterans that decided that at one point or another, they were willing to lay their life for this country. And we got to just remind them that their job is not done, right? Like it or not, their job is not done. Their job to the nation is not done. Protecting the Constitution is not done. And making it better for the future of our Latino community and the United States and our Americans as a whole is not done. So for me, that is going to be the message. It's going to be, I need you, we need you. We need to go forward regardless of what you're thinking, regardless of what you're doing. This is not about politics. This is about the defense of our nation and the defense of the American people, right? So for me, that is going to be the critical piece, the critical message. When it comes down to this community, I've been here twice already. This is my second time. So like the first time I was volunteering to be a teacher at a school for teaching English to Hispanic immigrants and technically any immigrants, because we have some from Africa. I've done that. I also did citizenship classes when I was here. And so there's immigrants here. There's people not only from South America and Central America, but from all over the world. And it's important that we see them, like I said, as people, as human being, as our friends, family members, if that's what we want to say, because some of them left everything back home to be able to. So the possibility of making a difference, making a change, and making a like something better in Colorado is there. And a lot of associations are working towards that. And I just want to put a little granito de arena into it so that way we can move forward.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, that's
I speak
great.
Spanish, you too. I speak Spanish. Yes, I do.
Yeah, no, it's de granito a granito, right? De poquito a poquito.
Yeah,
This really, those are the seeds that we go around and we plant, right? Just by
yeah.
planting the seed, and you never know who you may inspire or who you may just motivate or drive to take the next step that they don't feel comfortable taking. But I want to, and I don't know how many of our listeners may know that you're a soccer coach, correct? And have been for a very long time.
Yes.
Are you coaching your sons now, or how is that going for you?
So I'm coaching the youngest one, right? They didn't offer me my oldest soccer competitive team because I came in July 3rd. They didn't want to commit to me getting one of the teams. So I'm coaching a U13 team. It has 19 kids. I use item my number 20th. I can only suit up 18, right? And so I'm trying to see how people stop joining my team, right? Because I feel guilty that, they want to practice with me, but I don't get them to play. But I would tell you that for me is extremely rewarding, right? I spend my Saturday and actually almost every single day of the week right now in soccer fields, right? Coaching my little one, going to coach my team, or going to watch both my boys play, and then after that, coaching my team. And the benefit of this is that, the structure or the influence that I have on 20 kids, right? And people say, well, it's different, right? And I'm like, no, it's not. So tell me if you guys haven't heard this from me, right? One team, one heartbeat, right? Right? We go as everybody goes, right? Do your job, and everybody else is going to take care of their job. Trust each other, right? Believe in each other, right? And those are the messages that I'm translating to 20 kids, right? And on the last game, we went down, and you would think, yeah, that doesn't work, right? That's just the same. But we went down 3-0 on our first game of the season, right? It's a competitive team. Coming back is really hard, right? And guess what I kept on saying? Hey, we play for each other, we work for each other, one team, one heartbeat, right? It's 0-0, right? We're going into the second half 3-0, right? Down 3-0. They score one, the other team scores another one, right? And then within a span of 20 minutes, we tied the game up, right? And at the end, those kids were playing the first minute, the 45 minutes, the 60 minute, the 75 minute, the 90 minute, the same way that they were playing in practice, because we set the conditions for them to do those things, right? So I think that translates to leadership, that translates to soccer, that translates to everything. And it comes down to what it is that we're going to do for the future generation to make a difference, because those kids will never forget. Even a week after the game, they're still talking about how they stuck together, how they work hard, and how they tied the game. And it was the best comeback that they've been part of. Now they're 12 and 13, right? There's a lot more to come, but just starting with that mindset, I think is going to be critical as we go forward. You
Yeah,
have
is
something?
that,
I saw Nicole
yeah,
type
there's a
something
question.
as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. What'd you type?
It was my question. So apart from the scholarships that ANSO provides, what initiatives are in place to engage and empower Hispanic youth?
We want to do mentoring, right? Like we want to do guest speaking in high schools. We want to do those things. We also in San Diego, right? Last year they asked me, hey, can my JROTC unit come in and be the color guard? And I was not the president, but I say yes. And then I requested permission, right? But they're there, right? And the teacher's like, hey, I apologize if they make mistakes. And I'm like, no, I'm proud that those 5 kids want to carry the ensigns, like the flags, right? And they want to carry the rifle to protect those flags. So one of the things that we already started talking, and Diego can attest to that, was like, I want that color guard to come back, right? I want that color guard to come back. I don't know if they made a mistake. I don't know if they did great. To my knowledge, just by being there and wanting to do those things, they're already winners in my book, right? So for me, it's really important for them to come back. So if we do, if we do the next symposium in the Eastern Coast in DC, I'm going to ask Garfield High School to bring their color guard. They have 80% Hispanics, right? I want their color guard, regardless of who member is in that color guard. I want those color guards. So same with, we invited Garfield High School, and I'm getting them tickets to go to the Latina style symposium so that we can get some Latinas there. So how do we empower them? Those opportunities. We gave them options and availability for them to go and participate in things that other people will shy away and say, no, you cannot do this because it's too professional, right? And I don't, you know what? I don't, and it might sound bad to some people, but I don't care. I just want those kids there, right? So for me, that's the most important thing. It's kind of like when I go through a Burger King, and they're serving, and it's a 16-year-old kid, and he gets my order wrong, right? I get upset a little bit, but I'd rather that kid be working at Burger King or McDonald's than doing something bad. So for me is, I want to empower them by giving them opportunities to make mistakes in front of senior officers, senior staff, and COs, and know that it's okay to make a mistake as long as they learn from it, right? So those are some of the things, Nicole, that we're looking at, and Diego joined us, and he can attest that I said, hey, I want that color guard from that high school to be our color guard. And I don't lie on that. For me, it's big deal, right? Because somewhere along those lines, when I was growing up, somebody gave me those opportunities, and I owe it to the kids that are coming behind me to be given those opportunities. And I want more scholarships. So if you got $1,000 or $2,000 out there running around that you're throwing away and then want to pick it up, hey, give me $2,000. We can award $2,000, a $1,000 scholarship to 2 kids from JROTC. You got any money, Nicole?
I can scrounge something up for sure.
All right. Well, we can name it Nicole Maldonado scholarship, or
Yeah.
Diego Londoño scholarship, or
Or
DJ's
like
scholarship.
the nurse corps scholarship,
Yeah, I'm
that's
just saying,
something that could happen.
if any of the audiences listen to this and they got a little bit of money here and there, they can go donate to ANSO and just put it on the comments and say, hey, donated for a scholarship. We start collecting that money, and Diego runs the scholarship program. So actually, no, it's not. No, Diego might run it later on, but right now it's Tico Valenzuela, Captain Navy, right? And he's running it. So if we get enough money for that, we got more scholarships. I want to get to $21,000 scholarship for this year. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm working towards that. All right, so
Diego, glad to see you're safe and sound at home. You're even out of your uniform.
yeah, I know he was quick. He was quick. Chaps is quick. Pero,
Yes.
right, hey, so Diego, were you born in September? Because I hear only smart people, critical thinkers, are born in September.
Now, May. So not that smart.
It happens. It happens. But I tell
you know what, though, you say it all the time, sir. We are surrounded by winners. So as long as you're surrounded by people that was born in September, you guys are good, right?
Yeah, that is true. That is true, Dee. Thank you. I appreciate it, Dee.
We're all winners. So yes, we're surrounded by winners.
Default. But no, I got trying to keep it short because I got to go. Like you were saying, I got to go coach soccer again. Right at 5:30, I got 11 6-year-old kids coming at me, wanting to hit me with a soccer ball. So, so for me is Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up, right? We got to celebrate it. Nicole is in a hospital. I wonder what event she's coordinating or supporting, right? Chaps is with Marines. I wonder what event or, he's coordinating or doing, right? Or supporting. D, I know that you're doing a couple of things. I'm doing my own thing, right? To do that. So I would just ask anyone that listens that, Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up. Don't let it go, right? Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your culture, your heritage, your language, your food, your
Sir, Phyllis is
dances.
Almaraz is on the chat. Phyllis is Almaraz is on the chat. He says she was born in September.
Of course, now everybody wants to be born in September. Now everybody wants to be born in September.
Come on, Virgos.
Not everybody can be born in September, Phyllis. Not everybody can be born in September. But I think that we just need to make sure that we don't forget that, that's a big deal, right? And if we would have been in our country, we celebrate independence from Spain and independence from different countries across South and Central America. So it's a big deal if we know our history, right? So it's not just about celebrating for a month. And people wonder, why does it start September 15th? Well, guess what? That was the first day of independence for 4 countries, right? I believe it was 4 or 5 countries. I think it's 4. And then why do we say October 15th? Because it was the last day of independence of one of the Latin American countries or South American countries from the colonizers, right? So our Hispanic Heritage Month, it starts on September 15th and it goes through October 15th, more than just because we want to drink margaritas and eat tacos. There's a significant event that happened October 15th through all the way through November 15th, which is the liberation from basically Spain, from Portugal, and from all those countries across, that were not in, the colonist countries. So I just wanted to make sure that, before I hang up and we let go, that we remember that Hispanic Heritage Month is more than just celebration.
It's more than Coronas, it's more than tacos, it's more than all of that stuff that people celebrate on oh my goodness.
Cinco de Mayo.
Anyways,
I don't think she was born in September. I don't think she was born in September.
Because I only think of the Independence Day, September 16th. But that is I would like to challenge the audience or listeners and you guys here and on the podcast to take this opportunity from September to October to share a part of your culture, right? As to like something to continue to pass those cultures, those traditions down to your family members, to neighbors, to everybody, because I see them. Yeah, I live in Virginia, far, far away from the border of my family in Arizona, right? And my mom in Mexico. But I having this sense of that we're losing our traditions, we're losing what our culture is if you are not close to like those communities. So continue, I challenge everyone to share a little bit of your culture this during this Hispanic Heritage Month, whether it's your favorite food, memories of your grandpa, your grandmother, all of those things, right? So that they don't get lost in translation, and so that we don't get taken over by AI and social media, and we lose, who we are.
I have a comment here from Phyllis Amoras to Nicole. Says on YouTube, Nicole, can you share how your husband and mine know each other? We just found out last weekend. If you can share real quick with the audience.
So my husband went through the San Diego County Sheriff Academy, and so did Phyllis's husband. And so they met there at the academy. They went through the same interview process. And so I met Phyllis at the Western Symposium in December last year, and we hit it off right away. And we were talking about how our husband, or how at the time her boyfriend and my husband were doing law enforcement, and yeah, we found out that they knew each other. It's just a really small world.
Yeah,
Wow.
very small world.
It is. And Phil is making her comments, right? But she didn't join us. So, hey, Phyllis, by the way, I got some news. I need you to call me. I just earned you some responsibilities. So I'm gonna promote you.
And I just want to say that Carmen was also born in September. So
Is she texting you? She
she
is, isn't she?
she wants to make sure that we know that I'm not alone and keeping it, holding it down for the September.
So now everybody wants to be born in September. I
Now,
am so sorry.
There's
I
another
am
fun
so sorry.
fact. There's another fun fact. Canelo always fight in September, so I think he's gonna fight this upcoming
Who's
month.
that?
Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo, yep.
Canelo.
Who's Canelo Alvarez?
See, this is
The
why you were not
fighter?
born in September.
The boxer that challenged Messi that is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Sure.
Okay, we're done. We are done. We are done.
That was Phyllis. That was
No more
Phyllis.
September.
That was
no,
Phyllis.
He
That
challenged Messi. He
playing
challenged Messi.
just
You can't
playing.
do that to Messi, the best player in the world.
I mean, Canelo is a boxer. Why would he challenge Messi?
That's what everybody in the world was saying.
It wasn't Canelo. But
Oh,
anyways,
it was Canelo. Look it up. But
It was
anyways,
like-
it was. But anyways, hey, so I know that I have a lot of September babies in our podcast and all that. I am so happy that you are a Virgo because guess what? I'm a Virgo too. So
I knew that you weren't throwing those flowers out unless you were getting some of those flowers too.
yeah. So hey, no, but on reality, right? Because I told you I don't want to keep you guys here too long, like we did last time. Hey, I really appreciate you joining. I really appreciate all the discussions and just having that, getting it out there. But like I said, regardless of our differences, when it comes down to those that are listening, or regardless of where we come from, or background, ethnicity, race, gender, we all served. We all have served. We all going at one point or serve. Let it be that it's in the military or outside the military. Don't ever forget that there's people in this world that are wanting to change our liberties, our rights, our way of life, and we got to do our part. And in order to do that, we got to continue to influence and encourage and set the example for those that are coming behind us to continue to serve and continue to do the best that they can to protect the American people, the Constitution, and ultimately the United States. The United States might not be perfect, but it's imperfect just for what we need, right? We need the freedom, we need the liberties, we need the rights. We have the opportunities that other countries do not have. And we got to just do whatever we can to ensure that we protect it. So if you're listening to me, thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Dee and Diego and Nicole, but I wanted to say that because like I said, I have 11 6-year-olds waiting for me just to kick the ball at me to try to hit me. So
Yes, sir.
Dee, anything from you?
Nothing for me. I just challenge everyone to make this Hispanic Heritage Month a challenge to continue to pass on traditions and keep our culture alive. Diego.
That's the music, the cue
You're
music.
getting cut off, Diego. This is like you're done.
No. Let's
Oh,
go,
my
Diego.
God.
You have time.
Yes. No. Just to say, keep celebrating. Keep celebrating, and celebrate unity, but at the same time celebrate uniqueness. So
I love it.
awesome times.
Well,
Nicole, any final words?
No, I don't have any final words, but thank you so much for this. I enjoyed it.
All right,
Thank
sounds
you for
good.
joining us again.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for those that are listening. I'm looking forward to September. Remember, great people are born in September, just saying.
yeah.
Right.
Then
The
I'm gonna
best are born on the 15th.
best and the best. I'm gonna turn out the music as we're saying bye-bye. I say thank you for everyone to listening. I'm gonna close out. So thank you everyone for being here tonight with us. For this incredible fire chat with LtCol and Montalvan. We hope that found this conversation as insightful and inspired as we did. A huge thank to Lieutenant Colonel Montalvan for sharing his wisdom and experiences with us tonight. And to our amazing host, D. James, for guiding us throughout such engaging discussion, Diego and Nicole as well. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe to the ANSO YouTube channel for more content like this. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update from us. Thank you for all tuning in, for your question, and being part of the ANSO community. We look forward to bringing you for more powerful stories and conversations in the future. Until next time, stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep pushing forward. I'm Manuel Calo, and this has been the ANSO Podcast. Good night.